Hi, friends. Today in class, you learned all about the Bill of Rights and how the Bill of Rights were added to the Constitution by James Madison in order to help protect the liberties of the people. So, today, my friends, what you're going to do is you're going to read all about these amendments. And you're going to do this on the slides on your independent work. So, let's look at your work. And let's see what we have going. So you're going to go through each amendment. And if you're having a hard time reading it, friends, you can come up right over here and you could click on the audio button for the original version, or you can click on the student-friendly version for each amendment. Then when you're done, friends, you're going to come to the last slide and you're going to look. So if you're choosing and your teacher has not assigned you those scenarios, you're going to choose 3 of the scenarios. And you're going to read them carefully and decide which amendment goes with which scenario. So let's go into one of them and we're going to do it together. So let's think. Let's do A. A student does not want to say the Pledge of Allegiance at the beginning of a school assembly. Their teacher notices and tells them they must say it. So let me think. How does this amendment apply to the scenario? Well, first, I have to choose an amendment number, and that's where I see this number sign. So I have to think. The student wants the freedom to not say the Pledge of Allegiance. I think this goes with the freedom of speech amendment. So let me just go back to get that number. So it's not bail, it's not jury, not crimes again. So you see how I'm going through the student-friendly side to kind of go over, and if I don't really remember which amendment it was. Search and seizure, no, it's not about a homeowner. Well, they're not talking about carrying guns. People have the right to express ideas through speech in the press. They have the right to gather. They have the right to practice their religious beliefs. They cannot create or favor a government. The government cannot create or favor religion, and people have the right to ask the government to fix problems. I think it's Amendment 1. So now I'm going to go back to that scenario, and I'm going to put that it's Amendment 1. And I think it's that because it's telling me that people have the right to express ideas through speech. So if that means that they could express their ideas, that means that if they're quiet, that's also expressing their ideas, that they don't want to say the Pledge of Allegiance. And it's their First Amendment's right, that they don't have to if they don't want to. So I'm going to go back into that slide, and now I'm going to type. So now that I've typed it, I'm going to make it a little bit bigger so we can see. I put the amendment number 1 next to that scenario, and I thought about it, and I think that it applies to the scenario because, again, freedom of speech means you have the right to say or not say whatever you believe. And this student isn't saying the Pledge of Allegiance because they don't have to. They could say or not say what they want to say. What questions do I have about this amendment? Well, I want to know if you have the freedom to say whatever you want to say, then how come sometimes people still get in trouble for what they say or what they put in the press or in the news? So I'm going to put that as my question. Now I have my question there, and I can bring it back up to my teacher when we meet again for synchronous instruction during our wrap-up session of this lesson. Or maybe my teacher will see one of my questions and she'll be able to answer it for me. Or maybe if my teacher's just asking, do you have any questions regarding any of the amendments? I can say, if you're allowed to say or write what you want, how come sometimes people get in trouble for saying or writing what they want? Okay, friends, now it's up to you. You're going to choose 3 scenarios in total to answer, find which amendment goes with it, and just like we figured out how the amendment goes with the scenario, you're going to do the same for those 3 scenarios. And then if you have any questions about that amendment, you're going to write it in the last column. I can't wait to see which amendments you choose
to go with the scenarios that you've chosen. Bye for now, friends.